Hello and welcome to the Turtle Hour podcast. I'm Goose.
I'm Joel.
And start of season 2.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2. We got much better content coming up for you guys, and
Yes. much more.
right after our month hiatus. And we said, we need that to, no, actually listen to the last episode if you want to know why.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Yeah.
And
Dude, it has not felt like a month.
I don't know what it's felt like, to be honest, because it does feel like we went to Shaku like not even like 2 weeks ago, and that was a month ago, dude.
Wait. What?
Yeah, dude.
That was good, though.
Yeah, a friend of mine actually just went to try Shaku, and she liked it a lot. Actually,
Oh, nice.
yeah. I recommended it to her. I was like, dude, you should definitely go here, right? And then 3 weeks later,
it's a
she's
sushi.
there.
It's a sushi place for those
Who
who
don't
wonder.
know.
Yeah, it's in Park Ridge. It's delicious. Go ahead and look them up, dude. Definitely not like a sponsored shout out, but like get the
Definitely
Black
check 'em
Widow. Get the Black Widow when you get there.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So we're back. It's been a month in the year 2021. What are your thoughts so far, man? Oh, and happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, man.
Happy late birthday.
Yes. Just it's been all right. I mean, at this point I was expecting everything to like roll over, a little bit, a couple more months of this COVID shit, and we should get the vaccines rolling out pretty soon. That's good news.
A customer comes in today, right? They told me that they took their second shot or their first shot.
Uh-huh.
And then my dumbass was just like, oh, my sister just took her third. She's like, third? There's only 2. I really don't know why I thought there was 3.
Third one.
Yeah, and
Second, yeah.
and I at 3 because you take 2 vaccines.
Yeah.
And my dumbass, I looked so dumb and so stupid after that, and like I can tell like anything
you
I
should
said
just be
past
like,
that was just
dude. You don't know about the
Discrediting me.
new Pfizer three-step shot, bro?
no, but
But it's looking like it's working. It's at 66% efficacy, which is, obviously not everybody wants to hear that, right? But it lowers the intensity of the symptoms, which is what kills you.
mm-hmm.
So infection might be, lowered by 66%. But better than nothing.
that's what I tell everyone, man. I still can't believe all the like false ass shit that people try to put out there, like, oh, it's gonna mutate your genes and stuff like that and blah blah blah. It's just like, dude,
I spent a lot of money on those genes.
Fuck you.
I just get I get them out the closet. They're all bedazzled and shit. I'm like, no, fuck.
That's not what I meant.
No, I know, bro.
Fuck you.
There's a good I don't know if you've ever seen the show House about the consulting whatever his face is,
Mm-hmm.
the doctor, right? And so there's one about this lady who doesn't believe in vaccines,
Mm-hmm.
and the baby's like right in front of right in front of Dr. House.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what's a really good business right now? Baby coffins, little small ones. And he's like looking her dead in the eye, saying this off the wall shit about like, how good the baby coffin business is, because, you just wanted to save 40 or like, $60 on a vaccine. Right.
Uh-huh.
And he said some like crazy
Off
shit.
the wall shit.
Yeah, looking right at her soul, and was like, "You better do that, or your baby's just gonna fucking die." And it's like that's the kind of shit that some people need to hear, bro, because like they have this misconception of it.
I don't have the patience.
But the thing is, a lot of the times that in minority groups, like in the ghetto, you'll see that a lot too, because of the way like how those places were dealt with AIDS,
Mm-hmm.
Dude, AIDS skyrocketed in like especially like the black community in the ghettos, like back in I don't even know when.
Mm-hmm.
But the government did not handle that shit well for them, bro. and I can see why, they're
People are afraid of
the government and how they handle that shit because, they think it's like a placebo or it's gonna murder them. So, I mean, that shit's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like they've been taught this because it's not like it's an founded thing that the government is screwed over a population.
Right.
And, right now, minorities are suffering heavier losses, right? Because the ability to get care.
Yeah.
But enough about COVID. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. My birthday.
Yeah, what happened on your birthday?
It was great. I got back from work and I sat in my car, and when I turn on my car, the radio just starts up, and I heard the word raiding the Capitol building, and I turned it on, and I was like, whoa, what happened? And so I called, no, I didn't call anybody. I just kind of dealt with that situation, and I got home, and I was like, so what's happening? I think I called you. Just acted like everything was normal. I don't remember.
I don't remember if you called me on your birthday, because I think you hung out with Lynn right afterwards, didn't you?
No, not on my birthday. It was like a Wednesday. She was babysitting, I think. But either way, that doesn't matter. Pretty much I was just trying to live my normal life up until I got home.
Your mom made the pasta.
Yes, she did. It was delicious, and I had wine.
I had none of that.
No.
Nope.
No, because I think my aunt and my uncle came over that night. Oh, that's right. My aunt and uncle came over that night.
They devoured.
And they destroyed the rest of the pasta. I'm so sorry, Eric. I said, Mom, you have to leave some for Eric. And she's like, I'm sorry, little one.
I'm sorry, little one.
And then fed it to my family. No, I was okay.
I, too, have lost today.
Oh, God.
Nah, but... And so, yeah, the riots happened the Capitol riots happened on your birthday, and...
I was expecting some crazy shit to happen, but I didn't expect an event from 1817 to come back to life. You know when we thought we were going to bring, like, flappers back? Nah, bro, we just brought insurrectionists back. The 20s are going very bad for us so far. But I know you were telling me earlier that, you feel a little different. You feel like the beginning of the year isn't
all that
bad.
Before I get there, tell me a little more why. Tell me your shitty life. Tell me about your shitty life.
My life isn't shitty. I gotta...
Well, not your life, but like, why do you feel like, January isn't such a good start so far to 2021?
It's just a lot of stuff. January is the beginning...
Of the end?
Of the year. Relax. The end is not... Oh, did you watch Watchmen?
No, I did not.
Fuck. No, okay. No, besides the point.
Yeah, good.
Well, the end is nigh is like a common phrase, but whatever. So pretty much it's a dense month so far,
Mm-hmm.
The vote, the ban on Trump's Twitter and Facebook account, I think, or Instagram account. I don't remember.
Basically, he's not on any.
Yeah,
he's banned on everything.
That stuff.
He's even banned off of Pornhub, dude.
But yeah. So
I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
I don't know why that made you dance.
I just started slapping the desk. Stormy Daniels collab again. I'm playing.
I'm sorry. I just had to throw that out there. I didn't just imagine how absurd you have to be fucking thrown off of literally everything on the internet,
except for Pornhub.
No, he was thrown off of that.
Oh, he was Pornhub.
That's what I said.
I thought you said he still has that.
No,
that's why I was like boom, boom, boom.
No, he was thrown off
of Pornhub too.
Yeah, they said you can't beat your dick anymore.
Relax, relax, Pornhub, relax.
Yeah. But, I mean, this isn't about Pornhub.
It's not. But, yeah, I don't totally agree with that. It's setting a weird precedent without, it's setting a weird precedent for sure. I know I was watching Abba and Preach cover this recently.
Yes.
Shout out Abba and Preach on YouTube. Go ahead and check those guys out. They're another great two friends that like to talk about off-the-wall shit. I didn't fully agree with what they were saying.
Not everything. Some of the stuff they do say is a little kind of just like relax a little bit.
Yeah, like you could tell they have a preference,
Yeah.
which is fine, you know. But yeah, definitely for them to like just, I get they're like a company, like think of like Walmart or those stores with like the masks and shit. That's just about common safety, right? And if this guy's inciting violence, then, you know, by all means kick him off. But he didn't the thing is, he didn't directly say, go ahead and illegally storm the Capitol building. We'll fight like hell can mean, you know, we're going to be out there. We're going to be protesting this entire time, right?
Yeah.
But they took it that extra step farther. And I think, you know, obviously Trump knows that his people have the, you know, potential to do that. But I don't think he meant for it to get like that and get 3 people killed. It like led to him conceding the next day to Biden.
I get what you're saying.
You know, as bad as,
but like, come on,
Trump
man.
is, as bad as I think Trump is,
you had to have known that shit was
no,
gonna happen.
yeah, and he should have denounced it while it was happening, or you know, denounce any sort of violence in the first place. So he left it up in the air for sure.
He's not one to denounce violence, but
no, I know. No, trust me, I know. Like, stand by, you know, like that shit. Talking about like he really couldn't say that white supremacy was wrong, right? That's the kind of guy he is. But in the end of the day,
isn't it though?
For them to like ban with kind of having that like edge on there, who's to say that they can't go back and look at what's the director from Guardians of the Galaxy? Remember he was saying some
James Gunn?
Yeah, James Gunn was saying some off the wall crazy shit. Like who's saying that like, you know, he's imposing, you know, whatchamacallit, racism, and he's not allowed, you know, he should not be allowed to be on this platform because he could possibly incite, you know, racism in his, but because he's in this position of power or whatever.
I understand that, but once they did the ban on Trump, he had already incited that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what is the worry is nobody cares that Trump got, like, if anything, Trump kind of deserves to be put in a timeout corner at the very least from social media.
Like a little kid?
Yeah, like a little kid. And so he deserves his timeout for sure. But I don't want Twitter or Facebook or any of them to get away with just straight up
changing the narrative.
No, not changing the narrative, but straight up like kind of censoring somebody like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it's boiling down to, is like a broad topic issue. Like specifically Trump getting kicked off, like, oh, you know, whatever. I don't like Trump, right? It's not a secret. But the fact that they're doing that, right?
So would it make it okay if they 2 months from now they're like, okay, you can have your accounts back?
I mean,
so basically a suspension.
They should. I think this should be, if they do put this, like they should make a more specific guideline. Then, you know, they have like a general guideline. It's general enough to say that,
you know, it's hilarious.
You know, we're gonna fight like hell means I'm gonna incite violence and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is too broad of a scale, right?
Yeah.
Because the next day, after Pence denounced like Trump's actions and his inactions, really,
mm-hmm.
death to Pence was trending as a hashtag from like a big mob, like
right
on the internet, right? And that's not taken down because for some reason Twitter doesn't believe that a couple 100,000 people who are saying death to Pence don't pose an actual threat, but Trump, since he's in a position of power, does. You know what I mean? But at what point, if this goes through, do those 100,000 people saying death to Pence get silenced? And at what point do people say, you know, free this person from jail, get silenced? You know, it's kind of like this domino effect. Like, where's this domino going to land, and which domino is it going to stop at before we say?
The thing is just like that, what you say, like, it's been happening before Trump, way before Trump. Dude, there's someone on Facebook recently. They were just like, I literally got put in, they call it Facebook jail.
Okay. No,
Well,
I've never.
basically when they get, kicked off of Facebook for saying, well, she called someone fat on their post.
Oh, okay. Well,
But it wasn't okay. That's a very, I'm not explaining exactly what happened. Basically, this girl, she was saying some really off the wall shit, about everything that was going on and shit.
Yeah.
And then the other girl was basically saying like, you're wrong. You should probably rethink about your stuff and blah blah blah. And the other girl started coming at her again too. She was like, you know what? Shut your fat ass up, basically. And she was banned.
like put in time out or something.
Yeah,
and then,
she was put in time out,
and then got her account back, right?
And then got her account back. But what I'm saying is just
they're
like,
posing like a permanent ban on like Trump's.
Is it a permanent ban?
That's what they want. They don't want him to have access to that because he has a sort of like bully pulpit to fucking stand on and like yell his shit. Like he's a known person. That's why this is a big deal. Because when does it go from a known person getting banned, right,
to just your everyday Joe getting banned for saying some
and then it's
shit
like,
one night?
Right. And like Facebook jail, like I think there are more specific guidelines on Facebook about like just straight up bullying, I guess. I don't even know. Like
Listen, man,
I don't know. I'd have to read the actual thing before clicking agree.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who I'm selling my soul to when I click agree to terms on Facebook.
At the end of the day, again, like you said, it doesn't matter like what he said or what he did or blah blah. If they're able to do stuff like that, they can basically manipulate a political, so like elections and stuff like that, if they really wanted to.
Yeah,
and that's the scary part. That's the scary part. But at the end of the day, I mean, if they were the person that they ended up banning, I'm not too mad at it because, of the shit that, went down. But if they were to ban
like Kanye for saying some off the wall shit, because he does,
or not even Kanye, but like if they, let's say, they all of a sudden just also decided to ban Biden, right, and then they banned Biden,
who knows
but
why?
they didn't ban Trump, and Trump is still saying shit. Now that is when I would have been like, whoa,
Yeah.
But that's also the thing is like they can still do that. They can still do that. So that's the, I'm not so mad at it this time, obviously.
Yeah,
but
like, if the roles were switched,
but
I don't know what.
But like, either way, either which way you put it,
Biden hasn't done something like that, right? Like you would have to do something kind of extreme, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he indirectly incited violence. So we're letting Twitter decide what our words are meaning in that sense, right? So you're letting Twitter sort of. So this is a First Amendment issue. Is really what a lot of people are tackling at.
You can be put in jail for literally just knowing that someone was murdered.
Well, yeah, and not reporting it. Yeah, that's being complicit. No, it's not like that. It's not like that because you can't choose to omit your knowledge of a murder, right? Like you can't do that. You are under the Fifth Amendment. You aren't supposed to, be forced to testify against yourself and incriminate yourself. That's your Fifth Amendment, right? Mm-hmm. So you can say, I plead the Fifth, right?
Right.
And it's up to the prosecution to actually get any evidence to prove that you saw it. They just have a fucking video of you standing there while the dude's getting murdered and then walking away, and then you're screwed, right?
Right.
But, that's not dictating your words. It's not like... So during Vietnam, there were these kids who were wearing these wrist, things in support of veterans or something like that, I believe. I forget where this took place, but they were forced to take them off, and it ended up becoming a Supreme Court issue about the First Amendment because that's freedom of expression as well. Mm-hmm. And so they're wearing something that expresses how they feel about something, and the school wanted to stifle that from them and take that from them, right? Mm-hmm. Also, same thing, another school was practicing prayer and saying grace in like their lunch when there were people of like different belief in the building, right?
Right.
And so freedom of religion was then kind of more so established in schools that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all that kind of territory that we're shifting in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point does our platform not allow us to say stuff that is in our First Amendment right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being anti-Semitic, right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to say that shit because that's clearly in the platform, and it's hate speech, and you are attacking somebody personally, you know, and saying things that aren't true about them.
Whereas in
And
what
that's
he
like,
did, it wasn't necessarily that.
right. It's like like Twitter saying he indirectly incited violence.
So let's say, you know, the trial goes through and he doesn't get charged or whatever,
Okay.
and they don't lift the ban.
They shouldn't, if the trial goes through and he can just sue on that precedent, then, you know what I mean? So on the fact that they didn't lift the ban, he could just be like, okay, well, I'm suing because according to the last trial that we were in, they can appeal it. Twitter can appeal it, which is
Right.
probably the whole process. But if they get denied of the appeal, then it stands.
You know what's crazy? I could definitely see some shit like that going down though.
He would probably go, at it. Yeah. And, you know, go on the offensive there and try and sue
But
for libel.
yeah. But besides
Yeah. Besides all that crazy
that,
shit that's happening.
what else happened in January that's got you like 2021 so far, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting noise there, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I don't know. First 100 days, like with Joe Biden, is looking to be, it's a lot, but it looks like he's trying to follow through on his promises as much as he can, you know?
Right away, right off the bat.
Yeah, and he's using executive orders to do that. I personally don't like that because I feel like if something comes up, right, that needs his urgent attention, he's going to have this executive order that can stand for his however much period of time. I forget an executive order can stand as long as it doesn't violate Congress's job, pretty much. I don't want him to just do these executive orders and sort of be like, okay, I did that. Cool. Check that off the list.
No, I don't got
And
shit
then-
to do.
Yeah. So pretty much he's like, I checked that off the list, right? Like, I don't want I want their first 100 days to be productive, but I don't want them to be.
You don't want them to get complacent.
Exactly. I don't want them to just simply forget about the topic because they feel like they touched on it with an executive order, which a Republican president in the future can just be like, man, fuck you and your executive order.
Which will probably happen.
Which will happen if he doesn't go through Congress. And that's what the New York Times said in one of their most recent publications about the executive orders. I don't know about most recent, but a recent one. But they pretty much said, you know, hey, ease it up with
Relax.
the executive orders.
Yeah.
You know, like it's better to go through Congress. And I know Fox News is trying to like throw that in his face, like, look, even the Times doesn't agree with you. Fox News has been kind of wacky when you go on it lately. Like, it's just been kind of like a lot of, I don't know, like
was news always like that?
nonsensical news.
Was the news always like that? They always like lean towards one side or the other that extremely.
It's been a more recent development, but yeah, it's been like that for a bit.
Because I mean,
like looking back at news from like 2014, like old news clips and stuff. Old news clips are used all the time in recent footage.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you look at it and you're like, oh, yeah, I guess they've always been like this, but it's gotten worse since 2016 because that whole idea of like blue versus red was really a thing.
Since when was it cool to be against one another instead of being united as a country? Or has it always been that way and we just grew up and finally see it for what this country really is. It's just a
Before,
bunch
a
of
lot of
people.
the time, it was just like, hey, fuck you, I want less taxes. Hey, fuck you, I want more taxes. You know, like, like it was a lot of, like, we need to tax you more so that we can provide more benefits for people that need it. And then, like, we need to tax less because the people who need the benefits that aren't elderly or, you know, disabled, then they shouldn't be getting these benefits because they need to work for a living instead of just living off of other people's livings and blah, 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 blah. Tax us less because you don't need that money. We need the money.
Right.
So that's, you know, blue-red view. But who gives a shit? There's validity on both sides up until, you know, we start getting a little crazy about stuff, right? And we need to check each other is the thing. But nobody does that anymore because they get all offended when you check them, right? And, you know, it's whatever, bro. At this point, it's a little too far gone for us.
What scares me most about all that is that now, okay, so here's my view on the beginning of 2021. In terms of the world, I think we are definitely heading into a much better direction. I have a very optimistic feeling of where we will be in a year from now. Me personally. The day after the inauguration, I was driving to work, and I'm not a political guy. You know that. Everybody knows me. I'm not a political guy.
Yeah.
But after the inauguration, and like at that point, the vaccines were a little more kind of being rolled in a lot, you know.
Yeah, like Illinois was in stage 1A is what they're calling it, and now they're in 1B.
So like things are, you know, I was driving to work and it was just sunny outside. There was this feeling of
I can't help.
not exactly. It was just a feeling. It was just like a sigh of relief in a way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I'm not saying that I agree with everything because, again, you know, there's two sides to every coin. I wouldn't necessarily agree with everything that he's done either. But it's just a whole different feeling of having someone who isn't just a blatant racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like someone who isn't like telling groups of people just like yeah, like violence, like not straight out saying like violence is cool, but basically
but not denouncing violence, not taking a certain stand, you know, always being fucking ambiguous and shifty.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to just, even if his position might be like a little naive, like sometimes where he's just like, I want to heal the entire country all the time right now. And yeah. I'm like, chill, Joe. Like, we get it. Like, you're here for both of us. But, you know, you're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, and like that. So that's kind of what it, you know, my feeling of the first month of 2021 has been in terms of the world. You know, it's just like I feel like there's just all the people who. I wouldn't say all the people, but probably a good percentage of the people that were just outright doing absurd stuff or saying absurd stuff, they'll slowly start kind of going back into their caves and stuff like that. But what worries me is the percentage that doesn't. The percentage that that doesn't go back into the caves. I fear them the most because I feel like those people are so susceptible to buying into conspiracy theories and shit like that, and someone's gonna do some wild shit. Yeah. And that's the thing that scares me the most right now. But other than that, I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, I have a really good feeling of where everything is going. I know a lot of people still don't feel that way. I understand why, but I really do feel like the world is in a much better place than where we were a year ago. In my opinion, we're you know, obviously COVID sucks, but I mean,
we've dealt with it for almost a year now.
Yeah,
you know, like it's almost been, well, technically it was in the United States, like at the end of January, beginning of February last year, and we just started shutting everything down
adapt,
Like,
overcome,
march.
which I think is what we've done, despite people not agreeing to everything that we should do. At the end of the day, I feel like people's attitudes and demeanor towards one another is completely different now than what it was 4 or 5 months ago.
It feels like the frenzy is on a decline for sure. And we've been at this level of like high intensity all the time. Like, oh shit, what's he gonna do next? Oh shit, why is he trying to get this bill to pass? Oh shit, it's already passing through this, like, Senate and stuff. Like, oh shit, we're gonna have to deal with these justices, the Supreme Court justices that he's appointed for the next however long until they,
And
pass away or retire.
And here's the thing. I don't know what the percentage of what the minorities compared to non-minorities in America is, but I'm pretty sure it's it's what, like half and half almost, pretty much.
I couldn't tell you actually.
But there's a huge amount of minorities that live in the US of A, right? We just had a president that made a large majority of us minorities feel scared for our lives. And I feel like that, for the people who just can't understand that, and they never will, I think that's why it was very hard for a lot of people to, that we were just butting heads so much. It's just like, dude, I know people who literally every day prayed to God that, some crazy shit wouldn't happen where their parents would just get picked up and,
Yeah.
And I mean, they still have that fear now, but it's not as prominent as it was 2 months ago. And when you're living with that fear over your head,
it's like knowing that, right? Like knowing that you could be deported, right? That's scary enough. But then having some dude who's running the country on a megaphone over here, like, we're going to get the Mexicans out of here. We're going to get all the Mexicans out of here. Or, like, we're not going to let any people from any country into the country. This is before COVID, right? Like, I forget, like, it was a Muslim ban, right? Pretty much, from entering the country. And it was like, man, like, you are helping. At the time, ISIS was still active and going. You're helping ISIS.
You're helping their cause. You're helping their cause.
You're radicalizing them so hard. Like, and 3 years before that, we had like the Boston marathon bombings,
right?
And those were radicals too, and young kids, or at least one of them was younger. I don't know. One of them was like 19, dude.
Yeah,
and so, it's just
different.
Someone who is completely
it feels so different now.
Unaware of the times, right? Like someone who's completely unaware of the times, man, was running the country for a long time. And he wanted to he was like bringing back all sorts of demons from the past out into the light. And they felt comfortable there.
Yeah.
Because he was out there too.
Yeah.
It's like
misery loves company.
Remember what Stormfront said?
Wait, what'd she say?
Like, people agree with what I'm saying. They just don't like the word Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah, she hit it right in the head.
And that's like the whole thing. Like, she's the satire for like
what's been going on.
White supremacy personified, right? And she's like a super terrible character to the point where even Homelander was like, relax.
He's like, yo, you gotta, I've done some fucked up shit, all right, dude, but
Homelander is a terrible, terrible human being.
Oh, man.
But
he's no better, but yeah.
Even he was like,
I draw the line at Nazi.
Yeah. No. What did she say? It's called white, like white genocide? Is that what she said?
She said some fucked up shit.
Some crazy shit. And it's like, it's called white genocide. Like, completely misinforming these children.
Yeah.
And it's like this person who is in power and is in the forefront and is on T-shirts of people,
Yeah. And it's again,
obviously that's the most extreme. I'm not calling Trump a Nazi, even though, even though it's arguable. No, I'm kidding.
No,
but even though, like, I don't agree at all with his stances and stuff.
Here's my thing is I feel like with him, there is just a bomb dropped on this country, right?
Right.
My thing is I feel like we're just now going to feel the fallout of all that.
Give it 3 years. We're gonna feel it in our taxes for sure.
Yeah.
Property
But
tax,
not only
everything.
just that, but I also feel like there's just a lot of interesting things out there that is I don't want to sound like I'm trying to put these people in a bad light, because I'm not. That's not what I want to do. But if I can tell you the amount of like Trump supporters that have like come to me and like told me some off the wall shit about things that are apparently gonna happen, it's just like, dude, do you really believe in that shit? Like you you look this person in the eye, and they'll tell you like someone literally bought hundreds of dollars like worth of like flashlights and stuff because apparently some shit's gonna go down.
And
And
I know exactly. Yeah, but
I'm just like, yo,
like, relax. Please keep that to yourself.
and the
like,
thing,
I want to go back
is,
to the.
just like,
I want to go back to the time where that sounded crazy, bro. I want to go back to the time where that shit sounded illogical as fuck. But you know what? Maybe it is gonna happen, Eric. Look me in the eyes.
I'm
I have gas masks in my trunk right now.
I have enough. I can be a pretty pessimistic person sometimes, but I have a pretty good feeling that at the end of the day, you know, whatever, as shitty as some of the things can happen in this world, it is what you make of it. And that is why I really can give two shits about what happens, you know, politically and in the government and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, I'm just very different. You know, I just don't let that stuff affect me emotionally and mentally, even though I know for a lot of people it does. And I understand why, but that's just not me.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still living in, like, you know, a first world country. We have a lot of things that a lot of people don't.
Very true.
You know,
problems that we have are like
super different. I
you
wish,
can only
like,
imagine what
some
other
people wish that they could just worry about who's the president, right? But no, they got to worry about, you know, some crazy war torn country. You know, they got to worry about where the next IED in the road is because they didn't wake up early enough to see that people plant it in the road or some shit. You know,
and not even.
oh yeah,
that,
there was
it's
there was two suicide bombings in, I don't even remember, Iraq.
I don't know.
Iraq, I think. Not at
I'm
all.
the
I
wrong
don't even
person to
think
be
so.
asking.
Sudan? No, I don't know. But two suicide bombings.
Jeez.
Double suicide bomber. And like, where's that coverage at, bro? Where's the coverage in that? There's like one of the largest strikes happening, or was happening, in India, like farmer strikes or something like that. Like, no coverage whatsoever. Like, BBC's covering it because they're over, like, you know, they're in England and they're on that side of the world.
You bring up a pretty good point there, though, because, you know, some whack ass shit happens here in America, it's all over the world, right?
Yeah, dude.
But when something happens, like in, you know, some crazy shit happens in, you know, like you said, like a small country or something like that, no one bats an eye,
dude. And
you know?
it's like,
and now that you say that, I do find that very sad,
dude. It's like we're so self-centered.
Yeah.
and when somebody tells us that, like, especially from an outside country, we're like, get the fuck out there. We get so bad.
But I mean, I understand.
And I'm like,
it.
no,
Yeah.
dude, like, you really, like, we are all humans, right? Like, we may be sectioned off in different parts of the world, but Jesus Christ, we're all dealing with COVID, you know.
It's
the great equalizer for a moment, dude. The earth kind of like united behind everything, right?
Yeah.
And even though we were dealing with the president who had like no idea how he was going to put out the vaccine, did you know that? He had no plan. The institution had no plan, by the way, to give you guys the vaccine. So if something crazy were to happen, there would have been no plans whatsoever to distribute it. But he was talking all of his talk, so that's fine.
Or you got the people now that are also worried that the vaccine is going to turn people into zombies.
Yeah. Or bedazzle my jeans.
Or bedazzle my jeans. But yeah, it's I understand your pessimism, but at the same time, you gotta throw in a little sunshine in there, you know.
Well,
despite where you are and where you live, and yeah.
I mean, I got a promotion.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's me clapping, not clapping your cheeks.
Gonna cut that out. We always have one in every episode. We always have a moment. I gotta cut out for you.
No, don't cut it out.
I'm not going to cut it out, Eric.
Leave it in there.
Because I'm a lazy bastard.
Leave it in there like I leave it in there. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, I'm actually cutting it.
But yeah, well, tell me more about this promotion, man.
So yeah, full time now. And then prospects for better things in the future also. So it's looking up for me, man. Like I said in the last episode, you know, I'm counting my blessings every day.
Yeah.
And lately, you kind of went quiet when I was talking about, I don't know if it was the connection or anything, but I was like talking to you about straight Bible stuff, bro. Remember?
No, I was about you with your dad and stuff.
Yeah.
That was when I was picking up the pizza.
That's why you were a little preoccupied, probably. Yeah. But you were like quiet. Like I didn't know if you were intently listening or you were like, this guy's gone off the edge.
No, I was listening.
But definitely, man, I'm finding myself more interested in my own religion. And I'm like, whoa, where did this come from, bro? Does this happen to every Latino at 20?
It's like my parents have told me. It's crazy that my parents tell me this, yet they can barely follow this themselves. But everyone, it comes to everyone at their own time. When it comes to you when you're ready, you know, and you don't know when, you don't know how it's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with you.
It's crazy because I'm being explained. Like I had this complete misconception of what I thought my dad religiously was like, right? I used to think he was real Bible thumper, like real to the word, right? But no, he has these nuanced like opinions about it. And I'm like, whoa, Dad 2.0 over here. And it's just about growing up. And it's weird to say it.
I've had this conversation with one of my other friends before I actually moved back here. We were on the phone. And I was telling him like how I've certain conversations that I've had with my parents, and he was just like, dude, isn't that weird where like one day you just sit with your parents and you're having this crazy conversation that you would have never thought you would have had with them? And then I was just like, yeah. And then he was like, just wait until they start asking you for money too. He's like, it's the weirdest feeling ever, dude.
I'm already. My mom's like, $400 for the fridge for the ice maker that it's fixed. It's not fixed, Mom. It over freezes the ice and it just gets stuck in there. So I have to open up the back. I have to like pry open this cold door, open it, and then just shake this box of ice around. Probably drop like 5 little like boats of ice on the ground, and I'm like, shit. And then I put it back. Yeah. And then the ice maker works. I'm like, give me back at least 200 of that 400.
You ain't gotta pay for no repairs.
For real. I was doing that before. I would just open it and manually just take out my ice and put it in because the dispenser wasn't working. But besides my ice maker.
The conversation with parents and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. It's nice, honestly.
You feel like a different part, like a new door has been opened to you with your parents.
Yeah. I mean, my parents are always going to guide me, right? I'm not saying they're not. But I feel like I'm at this point where they're just like, fly free, little bird. Right?
You get home. Did you do your laundry?
No, they're like, I see you haven't done your laundry. I'm like, well, why are you in my room? Because it's my house. And I'm just like, oh, okay, nothing's changed really.
That's just little stuff it's always gonna be there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just simple like hygiene and stuff like that. They just want my room to be clean.
And it's just parenting.
True. And it'll never go away. It's just a habit at this point.
Yeah, my mom, like, you don't know how many times I told him, I was like, dude, please get off my back. You know, get like just like stop. And she's just like, I'm your mother. I'm always gonna keep telling you to do shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, well,
the sooner we accept it, the less we will suffer.
Yeah.
And I have, and I honestly have.
It's not that I haven't accepted it. It's just like for me,
You've already tasted freedom.
It's not only that I've already tasted freedom. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm an interesting person.
I'm
to say the
different.
least.
Yeah, I'm different.
But I mean, at the end of the day, we love our parents. I hope.
Not everybody has that luxury.
Yeah.
But so another blessing we gotta count for ourselves, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And so what do we got going on after this, man? So
Well,
let's give them a little taste, you know.
Was that
a little
little
understanding of where we're going.
Well, definitely we are already reaching out to people we want on the podcast, or we have reached out. And yeah, definitely more guests this season. Actually, majority guests this season, hopefully. You know, we're trying to keep the schedule as open as possible, right? No offense if you're not picked for this season. It's simply because we're saving you for season 3.
and in terms of like seasons, we do plan on continuing having those month
We're thinking of doing like
in between,
like almost a trimester kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 3 months and then 1 month off.
Yeah.
3 months. 1 month off.
And mostly it's just for planning and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure we get stuff straight. But I think a good part of it too is sometimes, you know, you gotta take care of your mentals and take care of your chickens, you know.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what that is, but okay.
yeah. As the great Marshawn Lynch said, that's a Marshawn Lynch quote.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got to take care of your mentals and your chickens?
Yeah, take care of your mentals and your chickens. He's talking about
sponsored by Skittles. No.
He was
Taste
talking
the
about football players, how like young football players should take care of like their mental health,
Yeah.
and also take care of their money, because once that money machine is gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
So
because like it's you've seen
Yeah.
it, man, like just people that were big names and then they just disappear off the face of the earth, and it's because they blew all their money.
yeah. I mean, you barely hear about Charles Woodson.
Who?
You don't even know who that is.
I don't.
He was a really good football player. You know, at the end of his career, they're like, oh yeah, he's gonna be remembered above. Only talked about when they talk about the Green Bay Packers.
Damn.
You know, but I think I know I speak for myself. I don't know if I speak for Joel here, but that month definitely helps take care of those things for sure.
Yeah, it did.
It helps fine tune things.
Yeah, we were gonna record this like a little bit earlier, but then a blizzard canceled us. It was just a lot of snow. It wasn't a blizzard, but
blizzard, and I mean, you're taking on that full-time schedule, so it's just, you know, it's just to get attuned to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Yeah. And I think after a month of just adjusting to whatever the climate is at that point, for us, we can throw in the podcast, and then we can, you know, mix the bag like that and just kind of have this schedule going.
Yeah, because we love you guys. We enjoy doing this, and we want to make sure we put good stuff out there for you guys. You know, even if you don't listen to the entire episode, because it's not really your thing, Catalina. I'm kidding. I love you.
You called her out at the end, so she's not even going to hear this.
To be honest. But, yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you for everyone who continuously asked us, you know, where we've been, and, you know, when we're going to release a new episode. That really helped us
look forward to
it. And I think it cemented for me that we're doing a good thing here.
Yeah.
So
our analytics look good. We got emails from our Podbean. They're like, hey, good job.
That is just one email. But yeah.
No, you forwarded it to me, so it's 2 emails at that point.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and we'll tune you in next week for our first guest.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been the Turtle Hour Podcast. Signing off.